Before we get into team number 11 of the 2021 Stanley Cup previews, I would like to give a special happy birthday out to my boy Harrison Colias. You know, he's such a good guy. Fun playing Call of Duty with, and I mean, like, he's a pretty good player at Warzone, and he is a Detroit Red Wings fan. So, you know, his birthday is December 20th on Sunday, so I'm going to wish him a happy birthday right now because, of course, I had to do this a day earlier than his birthday. But, you know, anyways, let's get into the preview. So the Detroit Red Wings were the last place team in the NHL, and they were disappointing, and you can't really make much out of it. But they did get some key assets and some players that will definitely make this team much better than they were last season. And I'm kind of starting to see some Ottawa vibes with them because Ottawa was last place. Then they're probably going to then they might move up in the standings a little bit. Detroit might, and then maybe another team will go down to last place. It's nothing that I'm thinking about. Like, it's kind of getting Ottawa vibes with the Detroit Red Wings right now. So yeah. Anyways, let's get into what can happen for the Red Wings in the 2020-21 season from my perspective. First off, if you're a Red Wings fan, hey, welcome to the channel. It's great to have you here. And also, if you haven't already, please go subscribe below. We're trying to really grind on this content, trying to get to 700 subscribers by June of 2021. I didn't say 600 by the end of the year. And yeah, you know, we're trying to really grind this YouTube out, trying to really get a lot of videos out, and you know, we're really trying to get done these season previews. So in that way, after this, we can make other content before the season starts, and like, you know, Canadian division predictions, all that good stuff. I want to get all that out there for you guys. So I'm starting off with doing all the previews, and you know, I'm trying to get to 1K maybe someday, maybe by the end of 2021. That's kind of a long shot, but you know, it's definitely possible. And then there's also, you know, maybe someday I can make money off of this. That's kind of a dream, though. I've said that in many videos. It's kind of a childhood kid's dream. Everyone's dream to make money off of YouTube. I doubt I'm going to actually make it. But, you know, one subscriber could really help me come to reach my my goal. And, yeah, also, if you haven't already, please go check out the links in the description below. It includes Twitter, Instagram, Discord, and TikTok. Yes, I have TikTok, and I've been blowing up recently. So, you know, really just trying to pop off, get all these videos out there. And, yeah, let's continue our 2021 season previews with the Detroit Red Wings. So, first off, what happened last season? So, last season was a very disappointing season, and they're lucky it was shortened because they would have lost like 60-something games. 71 games played, 17 wins, 49 losses, and 5 overtimes for 39 points. That is the lowest since the Colorado Avalanche's. Since the Colorado Avalanche's 47 points in 2016-17. They were 31st in the NHL, and they missed the playoffs for the 4th straight season. It's amazing to look at how this team went from being such a great dynasty back in 2008. They lose to the finals to Pittsburgh in 2009, and then they just start going just downhill. Like, they started losing in the second round, they started losing in the first round, they just started not even making the playoffs, and boom, we're right back to here with 39 points. Who else watched that SB Nation video? But, you know, so yeah, this team, although they do have like a bright future, they do have a lot of young, pretty talented players coming into the roster, and they do have a lot of solidified spots in their goaltending. You know, Steve Yzerman, I would definitely trust him with this team. I mean, look what he did to Tampa. Look what he did to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now he's having an even bigger challenge with the Detroit Red Wings. But yeah, you know, there were players that were lost, and those losses weren't, in all honesty, too big of deals. So as I said in the last clip, the players that they lost weren't really big of deals, in all honesty. You look at these players, and they really weren't that effective for a lot. Now, first off, Jimmy Howard. Got to give my credit where it's due to Jimmy Howard. Jimmy Howard has had some great seasons in Detroit. It really stinks that he had to go, but he really just had to go. He was like 3-12. He was like 3-25. Like, he was absolutely mind-blowingly bad. Justin Abelkader, no surprise he left too. Huge cap hit. Jonathan Erickson and Trevor Daley, which they lost to retirement. I mean, that team, the departures really aren't that big of deals. You know, they already replaced some of the spots that these players left in, so I think that it's really, in all honesty, not a big problem to lose any of these guys in Detroit. And especially if you look at the guys that they got. So the key arrivals for the Detroit Red Wings consist of, first off, Mark Stahl. Mark Stahl came from the New York Rangers for that godly player future considerations. Unbelievable. You know, Mark Stahl, I think, really will help out that Detroit defense. You say that Detroit's defense is god-awful. I think Mark Stahl will definitely help that out a lot. Bobby Ryan, he's also a very good offensive guy coming back from his drugs and alcohol, going through all that stuff, and then going through rehab and everything like that. I think Bobby Ryan will go back to his prime in some aspects. Jean Morel will probably be like a fourth line or maybe even a fill-in guy. Thomas Greiss, that's the big one. That's the biggest one I see out of all those players. Thomas Greiss will be that guy who will really help out that goaltending aspect. Greiss coming off of a huge playoff run by the New York Islanders. They beat the Panthers, they beat the Capitals, they beat the Flyers, but they lost to Tampa. And with Thomas Greiss in that lineup, this team looks pretty good defensively. And then you also got Troy Stecher to help out with the defense as well. So you got another really good defensive player along with Mark Stahl, and then you also got Vladislav Nemestikov as another player in your offense. So you look at the key rivals. In all honesty, Steve Yzerman made a great start to start off his campaign as a GM. In all honesty, I think that this team, it's a good first off season. I think you're gonna have a much more stacked one in the coming years. I mean, they did select a few prospects. They selected a few good guys. I mean, it's like, this team just doesn't look like it's in the run for a playoffs anytime soon. But with the right courage and stuff, they'll definitely make it. Moving on to the projected lineups offensively here. Starting off with the left wing side, we have Tyler Bertuzzi, Bobby Ryan, Robbie Fabry, Darren Hell, and then Taro Hirose, Elson, Smith, and Svechnikov as your left wing players and your depth guys. On the center side of things, you have Dylan Larkin, Vladislav Nemestikov, Valtteri Filppula, Luke Glendening, and Joe Veleno. On the right wing side of things, you have Anthony Mantha, Philip Zadina, Gregor, and Ern, and then you have Barber as your fill-in player. So I look at this team. It doesn't look too bad with the new additions. This will definitely help. I think the center core is a lot more improved with Nemestikov added to that spot. I think Bobby Ryan will probably play first line minutes for quite a bit of that. And you'll have a Bobby Ryan, Dylan Larkin, Anthony Mantha line, and even with Bertuzzi on that line, it still doesn't look bad. If you have Ryan on the second line with Nemestikov and Zadina, that still doesn't look too bad either. And then Gregor, Filppula, and Fabry, that's not horrible. And then Helm, Glendening, and Ern. I mean, that's just a line there. So, I mean, this team doesn't look terrible. I mean, metaphorically, right now they don't look terrible. But I don't think they'll make playoffs. I don't think they'll really do much for the Coyotes, for the Red Wings this season. I mean, this team is not in the position to make the playoffs, but they're getting closer. And with this offense, with these new offensive acquisitions and this team, they're getting pretty dang close. On to the defensive side of the projected lineups here, we have sorted by lefty and righty. You have Mark Stahl as your first line defenseman, no surprise there. Danny DeKeyser, Patrick Nemeth, Jean Morel, Cholsky, Lashoff, and Hicketts. Not Halkitts. Don't know what I'm thinking. Righty side, you have Troy Stecher, Philip Hronik, and Alex Biega. And then you have Moritz Seider as your fill-in player. Seider will definitely push. I think Seider will definitely get a lot of chances. I think that lefty side does look pretty good, honestly. I have a lot of faith in Mark Stahl. DeKeyser is not horrible defenseman. And then Patrick Nemeth is Patrick Nemeth. Troy Stecher on that righty side will really help out. A Stahl Stecher lineup doesn't really surprise me at all. Hronik, DeKeyser, Biega, and Nemeth, and then you have the five other guys, as your fill-in players. So this defense doesn't look horrible, but it's still not the best. They could do some improvements on the bottom pairings, in the middle pairing as well. I mean, this team still looks solid in that aspect a little bit more at least. But I don't know. In all honesty, this team doesn't look too good in that sort of area. Moving on to the projected lineups for the goaltenders. Now, I'm gonna have a huge conversation here. Thomas Gray starting off. Jonathan Bernier and Calvin Pickard is your top three goaltenders. First off, Thomas Greiss, coming off of a huge run by the New York Islanders in the playoffs. He was a very solid backup goalie, and in all honesty, some people would rank him as the best goaltender the Isles have had in a while. I mean, you could counter that all you want, but I think that Thomas Greiss was probably a very big person in the Islanders. He never really got that spot in the starting role, and he will get that in Detroit. He will get that in Detroit a lot. So I think the right of getting Thomas Greiss for this free agency is going to help him out. He's going to play a lot of starting minutes, and he's really going to help with the Detroit goaltending. Now, Jonathan Bernier. Bernier is probably one of the most underrated goaltenders in the league, especially when he's playing for Detroit. Bernier would play so well, but then the defense would just hang him out to dry. That's pretty much what happened for him this whole entire time. And I mean, Calvin Pickard never really got the chance. He did play a few games, but he didn't get much wins. So Jonathan Bernier, probably one of the most underrated guys in the entire NHL. In all honesty, you could argue me with that. You'd be like, "What the heck, Nordic? Why is he one of the most underrated guys?" He is though. Like he plays in such a bad Detroit defense, but he plays so well, or at least he did last season. So, I look at that and I say, you have a solid backup goaltender. You have a good starter. Team ain't looking too bad on that aspect. Better than last season. And finally, now I have my playoff prediction. Who do I think? And do I think the Detroit Red Wings are going to make the playoffs? Nah. I think everyone's expecting that answer. Detroit, although they still have a lot of not very good players on their team, and a lot of players were abysmal last season, I think that in all honesty, I think this Red Wings team got better. I think this team got a lot better in the offseason. A lot more fill-in players in case things go wrong. A lot more offensive players who will put up the offense. The defense has been almost entirely revamped on the first pairing. This team looks great. This team looks better than they did last season. They're not playoffs yet, but they're pretty dang close if they're players that they selected in the drafts and all that. And if they all develop right, this team can be dangerous by 2022. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, please go make sure to hit that subscribe button. Again, another happy birthday to Harrison Colias. And I'll see you guys in the next video.